Welcome to the Halo Effect, hospitality stories with Ashley and Michael Donald. Hospitality isn't just our profession, it's our passion. With decades of experience and countless stories to share, we've navigated the highs and lows of this dynamic industry, not just as professionals, but as a husband and wife team tackling the challenges of business and life together. This podcast is your invitation to step behind the curtain of the hospitality world. We'll share real experiences, lessons learned, and the moments that have shaped our journey, offering inspiration and insights for anyone walking a similar path. Whether you're just starting out or have years under your belt, we're here to remind you that every challenge is an opportunity and every story has the power to inspire. Hello and welcome to the Halo Effect Hospitality Stories with Ashley and Michael Donald. Earlier this year, Ashley and I travelled to Marrakesh. It was around Easter time. We were really blown away from listening to the call to prayer through the Medina to sunset over the Atlas Mountains to the amazing vibe in Jama'a al-Fana, which I always get that pronunciation wrong. It's really the sights and sounds and the people and the genuine interactions. It's really a place that we found really inspiring. And we've mentioned it a few times in our podcast already. And it really feels like Morocco's moment is coming. Lots of new flight routes from the UK and Europe. There's a huge investment in the tourism infrastructure going on, and the African Cup of Nations is coming up really soon in December and January. The country is going to be really shining on the global stage. Azdean, year-round sunshine, pretty much, and that amazing cultural immersion. It's easy to see why Morocco really will be making its way into more and more bucket lists for 2026 and beyond. And today, I'm very happy to be joined by someone who knows it best, Azdean, who's the founder of Destinations Morocco and the host of his own podcast, Destination Morocco Podcast. Azdean, very welcome.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Really, really appreciate it. Super grateful for this opportunity to be on your podcast, you and Ashley. So I'm really, really excited to share a lot of information about Morocco, and it's going to be amazing.
Super, thank you. Well, let's set the scene. Why is Morocco having a moment? Why should people think about traveling and going there?
Oh, that's a really, really good question, Mike. Because Morocco is a little bit different. Morocco has everything that you can think in it. With thousands and thousands of layers of history, culture. Morocco is getting more popular because of the soccer events. Really, if you look back into it, back in 2022 in the World Cup, we were the underdog, and nobody expected us to go all the way to the semifinals. And that's what really, really gave Morocco one of the biggest exposures, if you would, in recent years.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then,
When we travelled, we went through the Medina, and our kids were buying the football jerseys. And of course, one of our things we love to do is to buy the local football jerseys. And of course, they had Hakimi number 2 on the back.
Yes.
And I think Hakimi, he won the Champions League as well with PSG this year. So a lot of PSG fans, a lot of French influence in Morocco. So it was really something. And once everyone saw that they had Hakimi jerseys on, they'd be shouting, Hakimi! And my little one, who's very young, very, little, they'd be, little Hakimi, Hakimini. It was lovely. And that was an amazing entry point, the international language of football. So what it's going to be like during AFCON, the Africa Cup of Nations? What are we expecting? Is it a good time to visit, or is it going to be too busy, or what would you recommend?
I would say it is absolutely a good time to visit, but it's already too late. The reason is because I want to mention a couple of things. The first one, you said you and your family have the local jerseys, the Moroccan jerseys, and this is one of the best ways to get into a culture and make yourself really fit in, because to the locals, you are hip, you are a trend, you're cool in a way. So the locals, they love it when you see the Hakimi jersey. I have one, my wife has one, my son has one too, and they're all Hakimi. So it just makes it's pretty neat when you're traveling to a foreign country to have something from that country. It's really symbolic, even though it may not seem like much, but it really is to the locals. So in terms of This year, I just want to share some numbers with you, Michael, in terms of tourism in Morocco. Africa, there's so many beautiful destinations to visit. We can think of at least Egypt, Tanzania, South Africa, Kenya, and Egypt has always been the number one destination in Africa for since the pharaohs, if you
We
would.
all learned about
And
the pharaohs in school and everything. It builds a connection, doesn't it?
absolutely, absolutely. Last year in 2024, Morocco became the first destination in Africa for travelers versus, Egypt. Came in second. So
Wow.
this is massive in terms of tourism, and we had 17.4 million visitors in 2024. That number was supposed to be for 2026. So now with the African Cup, that number has been surpassed already in last
Wow.
month. So in terms of this is the busiest year ever to date for Morocco in history, 2025. And we've had requests, we have bookings for the World Cup, but they are 9 months earlier, they're a year earlier because it's not just the fans that travel to Morocco, you have the media from all over the world.
Sure.
And soccer, in Europe and in Africa, it's huge. It is super popular. So you have people or organizations, they come in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the event to have their accommodation set, to have their transportation set. So it's very difficult at the moment at this time to really find something, you know, locally to do or witness the African Cup. You still can, but it's going to be the accommodations or the hotels or the riads.
Yeah.
They're most likely going to be on the outskirts of Marrakesh or Rabat or Fas or Tangier or Agadir because anything in the city, it's already booked.
Uh-oh. Well, if you haven't qualified, if you haven't planned on going, let's talk beyond that then. It's going to be an incredible time to be there, but yeah, you probably should have booked already. So, but there's
Yes.
the nice thing about Morocco is that you can go any time of year, right?
That's right. That's right. And also, even if you're not going to watch the games, there are many, many other places to visit, and it's still going to be fun, and there's still availability. I'm specific talking about, the during those days, Tangier, Fas, Rabat, Marrakesh, Agadir. Those are the cities that they're going to host the games. Those are going to be very difficult during that time to find a stay. But if you go outside, maybe 45 minutes on the outskirts of the city, you will find accommodations and you can still go to the game and stuff like that. However, you can still do tours of Morocco without, falling into those. You can go to the southern part of Morocco, you can go to the north side of Morocco. You can still do tours without any challenges, and it's still a lot of fun.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, I think Hakimi actually got injured this week, so fingers crossed he's going to be okay
Yeah,
and fit and healthy and
absolutely.
well for the World Cup. If he's not, he might be choosing some of these tours as well. So what kind of tours would you be recommending at the moment? What are the most sort of popular tours around
Oh,
Morocco?
that's a really really good question, Michael. I'll start with the one that you did with your family in Marrakesh. So normally when we get somebody just want to stay in Marrakesh, which is a lot of Europeans by the way, we recommend 7 days is perfect. The reason why because you can stay in Marrakesh and do 2 day city tour and you can see so much, and
Yeah.
then we can do the third day we can do day trips. A day trip to Essaouira with a stop along the way. We always make stops. In
Saura
when we're
is the
going.
one right by the sea, isn't it? It's about, so are
Absolutely.
we talking 3-4 hours, something like that,
That's right. You're
out
absolutely
to the
right,
coast?
Michael. It's 3 hours one way, and it's a beautiful, beautiful small city. And the good thing about it, all the attractions and the sites, they are really in one place, and you get to see where they have filmed Game of Thrones and everything. It's really, really neat, small, very hippie city, if you would. And then we can do a day trip to the mountains and have a Berber experience, if you would, a lunch with a family, with a Berber family, then come back. You always stay at your riad in Marrakesh, and then another day we can do a cooking class outside in a farm, and then come back, for a little break, and then afterwards we take you to Agafay Desert, which is a little bit of substitute than the real desert, Merzouga, and then you do a dinner and a show, and you come back to Marrakesh as well. And then the other days we do day trips, so that would be the perfect for you. And also, what we notice the biggest difference between the travelers from Europe versus the the Americas, Europeans, they have a little bit more time to travel versus the US. So
Well,
I
for more
always
holidays,
recommend.
I think the US is quite limited, isn't it? Just a couple of weeks
Yes,
holiday, sort of annual leave a
absolutely.
year, whereas in the UK it's a minimum of 4 weeks plus bank holidays. But also we have the
Absolutely.
benefit of it's 4 hours away. You know, we can
Yes.
get to Morocco within 4 hours, so you can make it a long weekend as well. So
Oh, definitely. And
you
also,
then
yeah,
can make it work that way. And certainly,
absolutely.
I found. I think you're dead right. I think 2 days in and around the Riyadh is perfect. You know, I think that's in a Riyadh around the Medina is absolutely perfect. Um, but that is also great. We've sort of seen a lot of trends this year is saying that length of stays have got shorter. So 3 to 4 days is kind of becoming the most popular. I think about half of all bookings on Booking.com last year were between 3 and 4 days. So it's
Yeah.
definitely
If you,
become most popular. It sounds like Morocco would be ideal for that. Certainly, if one place and then maybe another place or not or whatever it might be.
I totally agree. For Marrakesh, because the good thing about Marrakesh, it's in the center, and there's so many things to see without you have to drive for a long time.
Yeah.
So, and that's the best part. Now, the other thing that I would like to share, Michael, is when somebody's traveling to Morocco, I always ask them how many days do they have. If they say I have one day, then I say then go to Fez, visit Fez.
Fez is the
It's
kind of perfect 1 day trip.
one day. The
Tell us
reason
why.
is because
What's
the reason is it's gonna show you Morocco in terms of old Morocco, new Morocco, and everything that it's trending. And it's a very hospitable city. It's a very beautiful city, and you'll have an idea of what to expect in Morocco. So when you have time next time you come back, you have an idea of what to expect for your travel, whether you're going to the south or to the north, especially when it comes to hospitality. And in Fes, there's so many old traditions that Fes still holds that a lot of other cities, they kind of seem to be a little bit disappearing with, modernization and time changes and stuff like that. So and I love Fes. Fes is the
yeah.
oldest city. Downtown Fes, it's got about 10,000 streets, so you always need a local guide in Fes just in
Wow.
case. That way you don't get lost. But I would recommend if they have more time, either to do 7 days on the north side of Morocco, which include the imperial cities, or the southern part of Morocco, which includes the desert Merzouga. So if they have 10 days, I highly recommend both, the north and the south, and that will make it a complete Grand Morocco tour, if you would, Michael. So,
Well, we have. You mentioned that sort of Fez is the oldest city. Now, obviously, what's with growth and development, we're getting much more modern options as well. We have rail expansion, the infrastructure of tourism. There seems to be a huge investment in there at the moment, and with that, we're having I mean, if you go and stay in a riad in Marrakesh, you're fully exposed to that culture. Incredible. Some of them might not be as luxurious as you come to expect. I know certainly the size of rooms and the space you have and the accessibility is different. But with this development is coming a lot more luxury hotels
yeah.
around. Are you seeing a big difference? What's the demand there like? What
Okay.
what
I
options do
the,
people have?
There's so many options. I'm glad that you said the Riyadh and you stayed in the Riyadh, because the Riyadhs, they only exist in Morocco. And just to give the listeners a little bit of idea, the Riyadhs, they used to be Moroccan families. That's where they used to live back in the 1900s. The Moroccan family, it didn't consist just of the parents, the kids. It consists of extended family, brother, sister, mother. So you'll have from the grandparents to their kids to the grandkids and so forth. That's how they lived. Now, every riad is created different. It's just like looking at somebody else's house, and different the houses. They are all different. The same is the riad. You'll see some riads, they are very small. They may have 5 rooms. Some may have 7. Some may have 13 or 20. And that 20, that's considered pretty big. Now, the best riads are really in Fes and in Marrakesh. It's a little bit more luxury, a little bit more, traditional luxury. It's really really nice. But also in Morocco, we did an episode about the hotels in Morocco. We have over 220 different international brands. We have the Four Seasons. We have, Saint. Uh, I forgot the name. Um,
Four
I can't
Seasons
think.
Waldorf Astoria has a hotel coming
Yes.
soon. Park
Yeah.
Hyatt has a hotel in Marrakesh
Yes.
opening soon.
Yes.
I know we have do some work with Story Hotels. They have a hotel
Yes.
opening in Rabat very soon, and they have one
Yes.
in Rabat as well. So
Yes.
there are a number. There's a lot of luxury, and that whole sort
Yeah.
of south. I think it was south. I'm not 100% sure. South of Marrakesh, you have the sort of golf resorts
Yes.
and year-round golf. So if you do play, as I do, but I didn't bring my clubs this time, it looks like an incredible place to go. And I mean, to be able to play golf in the sunshine, I think has been a driver of travel in Portugal and the south
Yeah.
of Spain for
Absolutely.
many years, and that's a huge market. And I know golfers love to go and try out new places as well.
Yeah.
And I think Morocco is absolutely perfect.
I totally agree. And also, when you talk about Morocco, the late King Hassan II was really, really big into golf. So he created so many golf, courses around Morocco, and they're really, really nice, amazing to play. So, and I totally agree with you because the expansion, what we're gonna see now, we have these local cities, Marrakesh, Casablanca, but these are really popular and to the tourists. But for the locals, there are different trends, and that's what's going to become the new trends for tourists if we look at it the next decade. And it's going to be in the southern part of Morocco, including the Moroccan Sahara, especially the city Dakhla, Dakhla and along the coast. When you look at Essaouira, for example, Essaouira is known for its kayaking. It's known for its surfing. And then when you drive in the coastal area, you'll see Imswan as well. You'll see Taghazout, then Agadir. Those are all a few hours drive. And then when you drive a little bit further, you're gonna see Mir left, and then you go southern part of Morocco as well, and you'll see Dakhla, and it's known as well for its surfing, its beautiful, beautiful beaches. So now Morocco has 35,000 kilometers of ocean on the left-hand side, the Atlantic Ocean. Then we have on the north side the Mediterranean, which is amazing, and it's very diverse. So that's the trend is going to be, I would say, ocean tourism, if you would, or coastal tourism. That's going to be the
Water
biggest.
sports and
Yes,
sailing and yeah.
absolutely, 100%. And also, I totally agree with you. And you mentioned something that it's been trending, especially with the smaller airlines from Europe to Morocco, especially if we look at Ryanair, I believe. Now, all those flights, they're going to be going to the southern part of Morocco as well. Because the challenge with those cities is the drive at the moment. But they're making it really, really convenient to go from, for example, from Marrakesh to Dakhla at less than $100, and it'll save you tons and tons of miles, if you would. So that's where the trend is going to be in terms of tourism. And there's a lot of international companies that are investing billions and billions of dollars in
Yeah.
the Sahara of Morocco, and you'll see that within next 5 to 10 years. Definitely, that's where the move is going to be.
How sustainable is this growth? What is the support in there like for the locals? My experience of being there was everyone was so involved in tourism. There were so many people, whether it be just in the restaurants, you'd have 5 or 6 guys all running the restaurant together. You'd have and calling people in. You will have everyone seems to be having a few different jobs, doing driver, tour guide, everything, and everyone seems to be getting very involved. Is it really supportive of the community? A sustainable growth and sustainable travel is, as we know, it's hugely important to us and to so many probably of your potential clients and clients. How do you see that going, and is that support in there?
Oh yeah, 100%, Michael. Because if you look at, for example, the Marrakesh, that's my city. I'll talk about Marrakesh, but the trend really is general. If anywhere else, if you would, um, every house in Marrakesh has somebody working in the hospitality industry. Like
Yeah.
you said, whether it's a riad, whether it's a hotel, transportation, it is related to tourism, and tourism is definitely the number one, if you would, income, especially for
Yeah.
Marrakesh and Fes, for the families, because it is big. It's pretty big, and now in the past, Morocco is still popular with the US. I mean, with Europe. Now it's getting more popular in Australia. So there's more Australians traveling to Morocco. With New Zealand, now with India, more people are coming. So and the biggest one of the biggest markets that they are still, there's not a lot of information about Morocco is in United States and Canada, for example. Once those, these two countries, they realized the diversity, the beauty of Morocco, they're gonna start to travel even more to Morocco and see how safe it is. They will travel more to Morocco, and that's again the the growth is just, it's happening. It's a little bit fast, but it's happening at the right moment for sure.
Yeah. You talk about safety there, and that is always a concern, especially we traveled with family, and it was our biggest concern. And apart from kind of arriving and not really knowing where we were going, we booked a lot of it ourselves, so it was our own fault, really. It feels incredibly safe. And so much so that even my kids were, it's so friendly, it's so good. It is incredible. I was asking questions from drivers and things like that to try and get an understanding of what their feeling was, because I noticed there didn't seem to be too many sort of police around. I was like, oh, what's going on here? And I think someone said, don't worry, there's plenty around. there are people keeping an eye on everything, making sure that tourism, because for the whole country, it's really important that tourists feel safe and are safe. It's obviously, there's two things, right? Feeling safe and being safe. But there's plenty of people keeping an eye on everyone and feeling safe there. And I think that especially if you want to encourage people to get involved. I mean, it was walking through the Riyadh or walking through the Medina and having the motorbikes going up and down with the tourists. That's probably the only time I felt less safe, I would imagine. But you get used to it, and everyone seemed to know their role and how to stay safe. But would you have any tips or tricks, particularly 100%. For people as they visit, to say to stay safe and to feel comfortable? Feel safe, I suppose.
Michael. Definitely. That's a really, really good one. Safety is in the minds of everybody. It doesn't matter which country they are going to. There's always that concern about safety. Especially when you have family, when you have kids. If you're on your own, it's you can handle yourself. But when you have a responsibility, kids and wife and a family, then it's a different game ball. So in Morocco, when you go from city to city, there's always checkpoints. When you leave the city, there's, we call them gendarmes. It's the French system. They check you. Then there are stops. There are checkpoints, 2 or 3 in between every city. Inside the city, you don't see really the checkpoints, but you'll see like a Mercedes mini Sprinter van parked somewhere in less than a half mile away from each other. They're everywhere. This is number one. Number two, a lot of them, they're civilians. They look just like me and you.
Yeah.
So, and the third thing is there's what we call tourism police, and they're everywhere too. And you don't see them, and they are in the crowd with you, walking with you. They're in the market with you.
They might be the one bartering with you.
Yes,
they could be selling you something.
Yes, especially I've seen them in Marrakesh and I've seen them in Fes, and the reason why I see, because we have to have a permit for us to film anything or record anything in Marrakesh, and when they came, they were on motorcycles. 5 different agencies showed up. I mean, it was just it bothered me, but I appreciated it because at the end we became friends. So because they really, really care. So they are everywhere, but they are invisible to you. You will not see them. And also, when you look at the square is it's the biggest square in Africa. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's located. The biggest police station is right there.
Yeah.
It's a walking distance. It's right in
Yeah.
in the square. But also they have everything under surveillance. So everybody's watching everybody. So that's the reason why this is one of the safest things that the government doing is having different agencies. What somebody's watching over somebody's watching over somebody else, and it works perfectly. So then this is one thing that a lot of tourists don't know. The taxis are involved as well. I mean, yeah, taxis, they can scam you, they can do many things,
Yeah.
but the one good thing that they do is every day they have to check. They have a checkpoint that they have to go through, and it's with the police. And they just, and they put down their number, their name, and they ask question, everything is good. If the police have a message for them, they convey the message to the taxi drivers. So if somebody to look out for or something is happening, they want them to make sure, listen to the conversations. You didn't hear this from me. Now I'm going to be deported. I'm joking. So there's different ways to communicate. So the authorities, they really know what's going on. So inside the cities and outside the cities.
Yeah, brilliant. Like a lot of people, I like to really sort of understand a culture through its food, and and I thought Morocco was absolutely incredible. I'm Irish, so I also like to have a tipple every so often, but I also found the mint tea experience throughout was brilliant as well. And can you talk a little bit about food? What's the best way
Absolutely.
to really understand the food culture in Morocco?
Uh, well, last year, Moroccan cuisine ranked number one. And I remember, Dave Ramsey went to do a tour, one of his episodes with his travel channel. I believe it's
Gordon
in
Ramsay, yes,
Discovery.
yes, yes.
Yes. So, and he went to he spent a day with the nomads, and the nomads, they do what we call midfuna, which is buried. And they made him buried pizza. It's just in the dirt and with the
Wow.
little rocks. And he said that was the best pizza of his life. And understandably so. The Moroccan cuisine, it's so delicious, it's so beautiful, and it's super, super, super diverse. So there's no surprise. It's always internationally ranking, the top five, if you would. What makes it different, I would say it's definitely the spices, definitely the freshness of the ingredients, and also the love and care that everyone, if it's my mom or my grandma or my neighbor or somebody making it, they make it really, really with care, and you can taste it. I'll give you an example. You can take a simple, for example, one of the most popular dishes you can hear is couscous or tagine. So if we take, for example, couscous, you can taste it in 10 different cities or 10 different houses with the same ingredients, but they all taste different.
Absolutely.
It's just fascinating. It's amazing. And one of the best ways to really connect with a culture is through its food. If you look at the food in Marrakesh, Marrakesh is known for its street food. In the square, the
That was
square
our
really
experience,
transforms. It transforms. It becomes alive at nighttime and then stays that way until 3 or 4 in the morning. And I highly recommend if you have an opportunity to go and eat there. And I remember Andrew Zimmerman when he visited Marrakesh, and he was like, if it smells good, just eat it. And that sound, the aroma it will take you all the way. I promise you. So, and then when you look at Fas, we call them, they eat with their eyes. I mean, Fas, they love everything that it's beautiful. Even their food, when they present it to you, it's beautiful. You'll feel guilty eating it, but it's really tasty. So
Never
and
feel
each
guilty.
city, it's it's funny, Michael. Every time we talk about food, I get so excited.
It's brilliant. And we mentioned Assyria, and I know that's a sort of a very much seafood, fish
Yes.
kind of influence as well. I must admit, I didn't experience any of the sort of seafood when I was in Marrakesh. What can we expect out on the coast? Do we get a different kind of cuisine?
Yes, but I forgot to talk about the mint tea experience.
Oh,
Mint
sorry,
tea
yes.
is everywhere in Morocco. When you go to the villages, people will ask you, come to my house. They all will come to you and say, hey, just come in for a few minutes, get a cup of tea. And if you say no, they get offended. But but it's part of our culture, and it's amazing experience. And mint tea is the most popular one, but also there are different flavors. And we did an episode a couple of years ago, that we can actually make over 100 different varieties of tea in Morocco with the herbs. Some herbs are available in certain parts of Morocco versus others. So tea in the Sahara is different than the northern part of Morocco, then the mountains, then Marrakesh, then Rabat, and so forth and so forth. But it's that same, it's mint tea. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. So
Well, it makes sense. I mean, if you have different produce available,
yeah,
what you produce is going to be different. What I thought was incredible, there were some great sort of just spiced teas as well.
yes,
Sort of, I assume it's just really slow brewed,
it is.
and with a few little fresh bits and added at the very end. And that at Jamal Fana, there was some incredible options there, and really reasonable. It'd be just a few coins, and you have
Yes.
a beautiful tea, and it's so refreshing and so warming and earthy and beautiful. I think you really can taste the culture. And on your point about the street tour, yes, we did that on our first day, and after buying the football jerseys. It was good that we could say we're already on a tour to everyone who was trying to pull us into their restaurants with the football jerseys, shouting Ronaldo or Hakimi or whatever football jerseys the kids were wearing.
Absolutely,
We could kind of say
absolutely.
we're with someone, we have a plan. But whether
Yeah.
it be the soups, the breakfast soups, and the is it lebna, or the
Yes.
pancakes, the sweet and
Absolutely.
savory, and the sandwiches. There were some amazing food experiences, and yes, if it smells good, just eat it. Even if it doesn't smell good,
Absolutely.
eat it. At least the first time. Try it once.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
there's my eldest tried the snails, which
Oh
are kind of
my
different to the
goodness.
French
Oh, wow.
French snails. French snails are
Yeah.
normally garlic and butter, but these snails are more earthy, cumin, I think more Moroccan spices. And he
Yes.
absolutely hated them. But at least he tried them, and it was an experience. And now I'll probably never be able to get him to try French
Yes,
snails,
yes.
but I loved them. I thought they were brilliant.
Yes,
But it's,
I totally agree, Michael. They're really part of the culture. We grew up, with that little toothpick and just picking them up
yes.
and eating them, then drinking the juice afterwards. It's a little bit an acquired taste. You're not gonna like it at the first time, but you gotta give it a shot, a couple of times until you get the hang of it. But going back to your question, Marrakesh is not a coastal city, but it has some really amazing seafood restaurants, and the
Ah,
seafood is actually from two nearby cities, Essaouira and Asfi, or some people call it Safi, Asfi. So those are the neighboring cities, if you would, and that's where we get a lot of the fresh seafood, daily seafood. So, people or the shops or in the market, they go, around 6 in the morning, and they come back, about 9 a.m., and that's when the market is open, and so they have fresh seafood for that day. And once it's sold out, it's sold out. So then it's really good. So yeah, even though it's not a coastal city, it still has some amazing seafood. Either it's street food or restaurants as well.
brilliant. Well, Azdean, what if we're to leave people with a message about Morocco, maybe if they're thinking about it for 2026 or 27 or whatever it might be, what message would you like to share with them? What would be your top tips?
I would say get to Morocco as quick as you can, because once you get there, you're gonna realize why it took me so long to get here.
That's a pretty good point. Yeah, absolutely. And it's changing as well, right?
Yeah,
What it
yeah,
is now will change a little bit next year, change a little
yeah,
bit after that.
absolutely.
But I really hope that culture is something that is taken they take very, very good care of it, and it certainly
Oh,
seems
definitely.
that is the case. And if that is preserved throughout, I think it's going to be an amazing place to go to for the foreseeable future. Thank you so much for all of your insights, Azdean. I think it's Morocco should be on everyone's list, whether it's in 2026 or beyond. And I'm sure we'll share all your details in the show notes. So if you are looking to book a trip or looking for some advice, please get in touch with Destinations Morocco, and they'll absolutely help you out, I'm sure. Thank you so much for joining us, Azdean.
I really, really appreciate the opportunity, Michael. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Halo Effect, Hospitality Stories with Ashley and Michael Donald. We hope today's episode has offered some insights and encouragement to anyone navigating the world of hospitality or entrepreneurship. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question, want to suggest a topic, or interested in just joining us as a guest, you'll find our contact details in the show notes. Don't forget to follow, like, or subscribe to The Halo Effect on your favourite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Until next time, thank you, and we can't wait to welcome you back for more stories and inspiration.